All right, shalom, shalom. This is Brother Yatazadak here with Yah the Tazadak. I was going to say shalom, Jake, but shalom, Yasha Allah, Yahweh Bashim Yahshua Brakatham. Brother Yatazadak here with Israel. Before I get started, giving all honor and glory to Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai Bashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. So we're going to continue in Isaiah chapter 7, verse 17, according to the Hebrew, Lord willing. You're edified, giving all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. So the header is Trials to Come for Judah, verse 17. So he shall bring the Lord against thee and against your people and against the house of your fathers. Days which have not come on unto the day that turned back Ephraim from upon Judah, unto the king of Assyria, right? And that word Assyria means successful, all right? Which, like I always mention, right? You have you've always had these other tribes mingle amongst each other, like Elam, right? Other Shemites, other sons of Shem. Now most of them just go by Arab, or right? But those are ancient tribes, right? Chaldeans, uh, Babylonians, right? Or Arphaxad, right? And other sons of Shem, which multiplied upon the earth, right? They go by different names, right? So it says, Ya Baya'a, Yahweh Al Yaka, Wa'al Aimka, Wa'al Bayath, Abayaka, Yam Yam, Ashur, La'a, Ba'awa, Amayawam, Sawar, Aparium, Ma'al, Yahweh, Yahweh, Tha Malak, Ashawar. Isaiah 7 and 18. And it shall come to pass in the day that is, shall hiss, which that word actually means to whistle. It's another way to say hiss. The Lord unto the fly, which is in the end of the rivers of Egypt, and for unto the bee, which is in the land of Assyria. Right? Because what do you got in these parts of the earth? You got heathens. You got right. Let's go into the commentary before I open my big mouth. Right. So the Lord talks about these snake heathens as stinking bees and flies. Right. What are bees? What do bees do? They pierce. Right. That's what the Assyrians were known as. Cruel. Right. That's what they did to Ham and Jake in the sub-Saharan slave trade. Right. They would cut the rod off. Right. Back then, they would in the ancient days, it would actually when Israel was a nation and the Hamites were in their respective lands, right? They would impale people, stick their heads on sticks. I mean, Joshua did that too, but they were known for their cruel acts, right? So that's what you have heathens in these parts of the earth. You got again, you got their left hand spirits, right? Um, right. To signify says their great number and their speedy march, right? Says to call by whistling. So that's what the Lord did, right? Says here when the Chaldeans had in good measure subdued the Egyptians, it is probable great numbers of the Egyptian soldiers listed themselves in the Chaldean army, and with them invaded the land of Judah. Right? Which is what you see today, right? You got Hamites following the religion of the Arab, right? They're basically keeping the same customs. I mean, you have some Hamites over there still following white supremacist Christianity or whitewashed Christianity, which is paganism. Um, so that's what you have. You got these nations in league with each other, right? And the Lord brought these swarms, right? Because they were to serve their purpose, right? Let's look at that word Sharak, Strong's H8319, to hiss, to whistle, right? Like they do in the cartoons, and then whatever was called shows up, and that's where you get all these ideas are from the Bible, like in anime, right? You got some other characters that they fall in their face. That's in the Bible. Marvel characters, that's in the Bible, which is talking about the elect when they receive the uh, godlike bodies, angelic bodies. First, you got to have World War III, martial law, all hell break loose. The Charagma instituted, right? Chi Psi Sigma in full effect, right? Which is going into the system, goes into the categorizing, how Esau categorizes people, how he performs his counsel, goes into the Charagma, right? Databases, it goes into databases, it goes into mind games, psychology, psyching out the human mind, et cetera, right? I already went over that. I'm not going to go over that. Verse 19 says, and shall come and rest, all of them, in the brooks in the desolate. Let's look at that word, batha, desolation, or bathath, which means precipice, steep, cliff. And the brooks of the cliffs, and in the holes of the rocks, bakwayak, which means fissure, cleft. The root is bakwak, meaning to pour, right? Like what do they call it? Water staining. Right? You got caves where water drops in the same place, and it creates like holes in the structure, right? That's the spirit hole. A bore. The borings of the rocks. Salai means a cragged rock, and upon all the thorns, and upon all the bushes. Na halal, pasture, watering place. Nahal, right, meaning river. Not as in halal, like as in praise. So it reads wa 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 nahwa kalam ba nahalia habathath wa ba nay nay wa wa ba na kwaya hasalayim wa bakal hana itaza tazayum wa bakal hana halalyum. Right? That's just talking about the multitudes of these heathens, right? And right, they're everywhere, right? Uh, Isaiah 7:20. In the day that is, he shall um, galak. I believe that means to make bald. Yep. He shall make bald the Lord upon a razor to the hireling. Um, on those that are beyond the river, upon the king, um, on the king of Assyria, right? Or it says here, by the king of Assyria, to the head and the hair of the feet, and even unto the beard it shall consume. which is that word tasap, sapa, just means to gather. That's another way to say consume. Kwan means elder, but it also means beard. So it reads Bayawam, Ha Hawa, Yagalach, Adanya, Ba Ta'ar, Hashak Yara, Ba Ibarya, Nahor, Ba Malak, Ashawar, Atha Ha Ra'ash, Ha Shayar, Ha Regalium, Wagam, Atha, Hazakwan, Thasapa. Let's look at the commentary. Said the term hired applies to the tribute which Ahaz was about to pay to Tilgath Pilnasar. He thought he was secured in an alley or ally. He was but hiring a razor, right? We could hire a barber to just fuck you up, to mess up your hair, right? You pay the man, and then he he messes up your hair. There is perhaps the implied thought that the razors and other hands in his that should sweep away all the signs of strength, leaving him open shame and scorn to all that look to him. From head to foot, not sparing even the beard, to maltreat, which was the last of Oriental outrage. Bayawam, Hahawa, Yagalach, Adanya, or Salaki. I already read that. Right, so this is talking about something that happened back then, right? But you know, the Ishmaelites, they got numbers. The Moabites, right? But the Lord is not dealing with numbers. The Lord is dealing the Ammonites, right? The Elamites. I think the East Indian is the most uh of the population of the earth. Billions and billions, like a third of the earth's population. Something to that extent, right? Right. So all that power you see, Iran, right? Saudi Arabia, right? All that the Lord did that, right? China, Russia, right? The Middle East. I mean, Esau wasn't able to conquer the Middle East. It's impossible, right? Because the Lord drew a line, right? He drew a line that Esau cannot pass. And these nations, they want their get back, right? That's all these nations have is a get back spirit. Ishmael, Esau, right? Yeah, I'm gonna kill my brother Jacob. You know, the day comes of a father's mourning. You know, y'all some sickos for real. But this is actually talking about something that happened back then, right? So with um, King of Israel, Isaiah 7:21. But again, you can make comparisons, right? This is why Obadiah chapter 1 says, "Thou art greatly despised," right? Right. Those that even thy bread have lift up their heel against thee, because that's how this thing's supposed to kick off, or that's how it did kick off, with Ishmael kind of standing up to Esau, because they always had a relationship, but him kind of standing up and saying, "Look, MFer, you may have won World War II, but we're gonna get your ass back, right?" Because that's when the Ottomans fell. That's when, right? And Esau kind of, he got his moment of victory, right? See, this is why you got to know history, right? This is how Esau was able to spread Christianity, democracy via the sword. Central banks backed by what? Nothing. Used to be backed by gold, right? Which they're called FRNs, Federal Reserve Notes, right? Which are going to be central bank CDBC, central bank digital currencies, which are then going to be turned into the paragma and cause those smaller, great, rich, and poor to receive a mark in the right hand or in the forehead, right? This is why Esau doesn't like us. This is why your nations don't like us, because we're not saying what you want us to say. We're telling the truth, and that's it, right? And we're not supposed to say what you want us to say. We're not supposed to say, uh, we're telling you, thus saith the Lord, right? Knowledge shall increase, right? The prophets are back of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, the servants of the Lord. Wise men, did he not say he would send wise men, scribes, etc., etc.? Thou shalt persecute and scourge and kill, right? The apostles are sent forth last as if unto death, right? We can't wait. We can't wait till the Lord fucks you up. It's like Salakia. We just want to get the hell out of here, right? Because everything. I mean, these allergies are ridiculous. We just want to see chariots, right? And right, justice, uh, justice gets served. A can of justice being opened on you goddamn devils. Isaiah 7:21, and it shall come to pass in the day that is that he shall nourish a man to a cow of the herds and two sheep. Wa haya bayawam hahawa yechaya ayash igalath bakwar washatia tazaan. Verse 22, and it shall come to pass through the abundance of milk that they shall give, he shall eat butter, for butter and honey shall everyone eat that is left in the land. Right? And that's not good. Just eating butter and butter and milk, right? That's not a good diet, right? I remember I read an article on the when they had the turkey insurrection, or like a turkey like like basically the government over the people. There was a their military overthrew the government in Turkey. They were torturing people, and they had them in camps, and all they ate was oil. They're feeding them food with like 90% oil, and they kept defecating, and right, the oil was going right through them. Right, it was making them sick. It was real bad, and that's what the Lord brought. He said that's what he said he would bring when the Assyrians would take over, right? And you got some of these Ishmaelites. That's what they do. Their hand is against every man. They're like wild beasts, right? And they can get wild too. Like Elder Apostle said, these Palestinians, you know they some of them are out there in other parts of America, Babylon the Great, like Texas, California, and they do they're in gangs just like Jake, right? They do crime, They're not sweet. Ain't nothing sweet about them, right? Some of them look like Northern Kingdom, right? But they're not Northern Kingdom. They're uh they're Arabs, right? They look like us, but they're right. They're not our people. They imitate us like the Moabites, the Ammonites, right? But they're not our people. And it's obvious because Jake moves a certain way, you know. These heathens, they you can just tell. It's not even a secret, right? But that's what the Lord said He would bring, right? And it's coming back too. I mean, that's gonna come back when the famine hits. You're gonna have Jake going through it. You have some of these low-level Edomites going through it. You're gonna have all nations. I mean, basically Hamites. They're gonna be going through it, right? The Lord is gonna mess a lot of people up, right? Especially when shit really hits the fan, and you either take the Quran or you're gonna starve. You're either gonna take the Quran or you're gonna starve. So this is not a joke, right? It, it's gonna get bad. So it reads Wahaya Marab Ashath Halab, meaning that it will come to pass from the abundance of the making of milk, which halab also means fat. They shall eat butter, ya'akal chama'ah, kaya chama'ah, because butter and honey they shall eat, kaya chama'ah, wadabash ya'akal. And that's not good either, because especially the honey today, that's pure sugar. That's basically what Jake is eating. Bunch of sugar, a bunch of fat, right? Because they don't have no sense, no proper diet. They don't know how to use the herbs to heal their body. They don't even read the damn label. They just pick it up and you know, it's that's ridiculous. It says all that is left in the midst of the land, right? And I believe there's a saying I heard about it in the French Revolution. I forgot who it was. I mentioned it before. With this uh, particular person said, let them eat cake." And that's basically what Esau's feeding everybody with cake, unless you can afford to go to fine dining, or right, unless you can afford it, right, or you have the means, right, you're not really eating real food. You know, you're just eating right, you're eating scraps, you're eating right, and it's gonna get worse. See, all these things are gonna lead you nations and Jake to take the charagma, right? Because you're not gonna have a choice, right? Esau, he's not gonna ask you nicely. He's he's not even gonna tell you, right? Through something that's called it's gonna be slowly introduced, right? Just like these 5-minute cities, like I recently brought out at camp, right? Through gradualism, right? Isaiah chapter 7 and verse 23. And it shall come to pass in the day that is, there shall be all place which there was there 1,000 vine upon 1,000 silver. It will be like it'll be, or Salakia, for briars, it'll be for a briar, for thorns, for briar, and for thorns it shall be, right? Because you used to be able to get a double cheeseburger for like a dollar 50. Now it's like $3, right? And it was produced differently, right? See, Jake thinks that they're in a good case. Everyone thinks they're in a good case because you can still walk into the damn quickie mart, get yourself a hot dog, buy yourself a freezy. You can still go to the theater, buy some nachos. But the day is coming when you're not going to those commodities. They're gonna diminish, right? Like I said, 5-minute cities. Your options are gonna be uh they're not gonna be your options, right? They're gonna be there, and you're gonna like it, right? And you're gonna accept it, right? Just like the slogan of the New World Order, you're gonna own nothing and like it, right? And when martial law hits, they're gonna have curfews, right? You already have stores that close early, so where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna go? What are you gonna do? You want to go buy some snacks, or you just want to go and cruise about, you can do that still and go buy a snack if the place is open. But in time, when rioting and crime goes up because of the famine, right? There's going to be measures instituted, right, to where you're not going to be able to move like that, right? More and more cameras. It's not. I believe Elder Pastor Ramlab recently went over that dystopian society, meaning dystopian, meaning out of place. Let's look that up real quick because that was pretty interesting. And then we'll go ahead and close up. Utopian. So utopia means nowhere. From Greek, or Salakia, I meant dystopian. Salakia, just bear with me. Dystopian. Dystopia, right? Imaginary bad place. From dis, bad, abnormal, and extracted from utopia. Earlier medical use, displacement of an organ, right? The Lord is going to bring hell, right? Because it already feels like we're in a damn Twilight episode, right? Everybody's bugging out. Everybody's just being creepy, you know? People can't handle the change. They can't handle the unknown, right? People don't like the unknown, right? Humans are creatures of habit, right? And it's not gonna go back to the good old days. Those days are over, right? These are days, and there's good days that are coming, which are like days which have not been since the foundation of the world, right? Bad, abnormal, bad place, bad case, right? Bad taste, right? So anyways, let's see if we can just wrap it up, finish these last verses. But this is really talking about what the Lord did to Israel, right? Via the Assyrians, right? The Egyptians. Because you got to remember, they didn't wipe the Canaanites off the land, right? After they were placed in the land. See, Ishmael, he smartened up because he as soon as he took over, he took Ham out of Egypt, right? Sent them to Jordan, right? Basically, you know, just took shit over there, right? Then Esau went to the land of Ham and messed it up. Now you got Moab beating damn Hamites with a stick. And Jake is there too. You got some Jake over there. So it says Wahaya Bayawam Hahawa Yahaya Kal Makwam Ashar Yahaya, Shum, Alap, Kapan, Ba'alap, Kasap, La Shamyor, Bala Shayath, Yahaya. Upon verse 24, upon arrows and upon bows they shall come there, because briars and thorns shall be all the land. As in, the land will be filled with briars and thorns, right? And that's why Isaiah 19 says, Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt, right? Because when shit hits the fan, right, you're gonna have some of these Judites, right, and some of these Hamites, they're gonna go buck wild, right? So it reads Ba Chatazayim Baba Kwashath Ya Ba'a Shama Kaya Shamyor Lashayath Tahaya Kal Ha'ratazah. That's what happened back then. Lord thrust the tribes out, and now you got heathens in our land, right? You got some of the tribes mingled there, but for the most part, those are heathens over there. So it says, verse 25, and all the hills, well, that's not the word for hills. That actually means mountains. And all the mountains which is upon the Matok, 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 Matok. See, that's part of these this cursed language, or the confusion in this. And Esau spells things so many different ways. It's very confusing, because that's just that's part of Babylon the Great. It's confusion. The point is to confuse, right? So let's look up that word matak or matic. I think it's matic. Sounds like you said matic. Matic. So it's an agricultural tool, like a pickaxe. Which is ma idor, which is how you dig a hedge, right? When you make a fence, when you make fences, you gotta dig where it's gonna be constructed. Then you gotta stick the poles in the earth, and then you build around the poles. It says, upon the matic they shall dig the hedge, and they shall not come there for the fear of briars and thorns, and it shall be for sending forth of ox and for treading of cattle. Right? So, right, part of martial law means that the government is going to control the resources. Right? Like I said, this is all gradualism, right? It's not going to be told onto you. Okay, look, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. No, you're going to think something different is happening, right? That's part of controlling the narrative, right? Instilling fear into the people, using false flag events, etc., etc., right? So where there's going to be particular places eventually that, right, they're going to be fenced down, right? The stores, right, they're going to be fenced down. Right, you're not just going to be able to walk in, right? There's going to be checkpoints and, right? That's where the meat's going to be at, the storage. It's going to be guarded, right? So it reads, Wakal Ha-Haryam Ashar Bama Idar Ya Idaran La'a Thaba'a Shema Ya Ra'a Shamyar Washayath Wahaya Lamashalach Shawar Bala Maramas Shah. Which is not Shah, it's Shah, meaning cattle, right? For example, they got uh, particular butcheries, and then you got the slaughterhouses, right? They're each to serve its particular purpose. And this is what happened when Israel was sieged. They were cast away, right? Then the heathen took over the resources. But that happened back then, right? In contrast to what is going to happen now, what is going to happen is very different, right? So that's pretty much it. This is Isaiah 7 and 13 through 23, 25. It's Brother Yatazadak, hero of Israel. And as always, Lord willing, you ratified. Give no honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Quadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Kwame Yasha Allah, Abad Babal, and Shalom.